Disney giveth, and Disney taketh away. Disney giveth us a new Epcot, and they taketh away the Magical Express. They giveth Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and they taketh away Big Thunder Ranch. The running of the goats, Disney, the running of the goats. And for everything they do end up givething us, tens, maybe hundreds of projects end up going unused. But honestly, I think some of these really deserve a chance to shine.
I'm Detective Dick Tracy.
With a clue and a Tommy gun.
Okay, maybe not that one. Some of these attractions I feel like could add so much to the park these days, and it's a darn crying shame that they were canceled. So join me as we go through 7 never built, never constructed Disney attractions that really should make a comeback at some point in time in the future, because it's just such a crying shame that we don't have these amazing attractions that we never got to experience in the parks anywhere. Because guys, it's honestly really hard for me to keep going in life knowing that I'll never be able to ride Dick Tracy's Crime Stoppers. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm actually kind of glad that one never got built. Look at his name. What were they thinking? So here are 7 canceled Disney attractions that really should make a return, according to me. The World Showcase is a land composed of a bunch of other miniature lands that is in desperate need of more attractions. And the now unofficially canceled Mary Poppins attraction is just one of those rides that I think would fill out the World Showcase beautifully. Like I said, not officially canceled yet, but they have removed any and all references to it in the Epcot experience. No posters, and no segment in the awesome projection show that they have. But dang it, the supposed leaked plans for this Mary Poppins attraction were amazing, to say the least. And although it would have meant saying goodbye to the UK bandstand, I think we all may have been okay with that if it meant welcoming a brand new attraction based on one of Walt Disney's favorite classic movies that he personally creatively drove into Epcot. Bob Chapek himself even confirmed that the ride would take place in the 1964 Walt Disney's Mary Poppins version of the movie and not the newer Mary Poppins Returns version, which is bonus points. Canceled or shelved indefinitely? Probably the first one, but if Disney ever does announce that they are bringing this project back from the dead, I can just go ahead and point to this video and say, ha! Look, they listened. And all the possibilities that this ride could be a dark ride, an enclosed, highly themed spinner attraction that's similar to Dumbo, but way, way more elaborate. I think anything would be great back here, and having it be a quaint attraction I think kind of fits the pavilion, but hey, that's just me. You ever walk down Buena Vista Street past the bakery and wonder what that toot toot sound was? That, my friends, is Rock Candy Mountain, one of the coolest stories behind a canceled Disneyland attraction ever, because it took place back when Walt was still around and creatively in control of Disneyland. You see, Rock Candy Mountain served as sort of a predecessor to the Matterhorn bobsleds. When trying to decide what to turn the old Holiday Hill into, the original idea they landed on was Candy Mountain. Still a roller coaster like the Matterhorn, but instead taking place inside the Candy Caverns. Originally, the ride was going to be transparent, which is what you see today on Buena Vista Street, but that would be way too hard to clean, Walt decided, so instead it would be normal rock, just decorated with a bunch of candy. Walt and the Imagineers gathered up different kinds of candy from all over the state of California and the world and constructed a miniature. Now, no known photos or diagrams of this mini exist, but we can get a pretty good idea of what it looked like by looking at the one that's at California Adventure. Like the Matterhorn that had the Skyway running through it, it would have other attractions weaving in and out of the structure itself. The Casey Jr. circus train was meant to weave up and around the mountain, while the Storybook Land canal boats would go underneath it through its caverns. John Hench, the lead Imagineer behind Rock Candy Mountain, decided to scrap it when he decided that it would look a little sickly as the years went on, the sun bleaching took effect, and the candy would desaturate and sort of start to fall apart. It wouldn't look good in the skyline of Disneyland. So yes, while they did end up going with the Matterhorn bobsleds, I feel like you could return this attraction to its rightful spot in Fantasyland somewhere. And you know, we all know Disney likes their IPs these days, so if they wanted to tie it in with something pre-existing, it could just be a Sugar Rush ride from Wreck-It Ralph, you know? Bring back a classic Disneyland attraction idea, but also, don't worry, you'll get your gift shop and all of your tie-ins and merchandising too. Plus, I don't think people will ever complain about another roller coaster, especially one as highly themed as this. Oh yeah, and speaking of roller coasters, a canceled entire land at Disney's Animal Kingdom was meant to contain a really cool, groundbreaking roller coaster at the Disney parks. Now I'm sure we all know about Beastly Kingdom at Disney's Animal Kingdom. It was going to go where Pandora is today and feature different mythological and fantasy animals. Think unicorns, griffins, and where I'm going with number 5 on the list, dragons. Dragon Challenge was meant to be a suspended coaster that took you inside of an old ruined medieval castle and down into the dungeon where the dragon lied, guarding its treasure. You, the guest, would take on the role of a bat flying through the castle, which is what the ride vehicle looked like, and it would probably feature a larger and modified version of Disneyland Paris's dragon. If you don't know there's a dragon under the castle there, it's amazing. And yes, it would breathe fire. We're so used to the beautifully polished and painted and colorful Cinderella castle at the Magic Kingdom, I think seeing Disney design an old, ruined, broken down castle would be a nice change of pace for them. And it's another attraction I think would find its home perfect in Fantasyland. Where, you ask? I don't know, that's up to Disney to find out, but I just think they should bring it back. That's what the video's about. Eventually, some of the Imagineers who worked on Dragon Challenge went over to Universal after Beastly Kingdom's cancellation and built a sort of spiritual successor to Dragon Challenge called Dragon's Challenge, which is where I get the name from because it's the closest thing we have, even though that was shut down. Hagrid's is there now today instead of the Dragon Coaster, but I feel like Disney's answer to Hagrid's could be Universal's answer to the original Dragon Coaster. You follow my drift? All I'm saying is we deserve a challenge with the Dragon, Disney. Just that you owe us that at least. You're taking the Magical Express away. Just give us a Dragon Challenge. Alright, no more roller coasters until the next one on the list. We're going to talk about a slow-moving boat ride. You know, like Pirates of the Caribbean. Everyone loves a good slow-moving boat ride. Or at least I do. High capacity, check. Highly themed, also check. And it shows off what Disney can do with audio animatronics. Henceforth, the Western River Expedition will be number 4 on this list. For those of you who don't know, a quick crash course on the Western River Expedition, when Disney World was being built, Imagineers assumed that people didn't want to ride Pirates of the Caribbean there because people in Florida were already familiar with the Caribbean and pirates. So instead of pirates, back in that corner where Splash Mountain and Pirates sit today in the Magic Kingdom, the old WRE was going to go in instead. You would take a raft out to get to it just like Tom Sawyer Island, and inside would be the highly themed boat ride. Think similar to Pirates, but instead of being set at sea, you are sailing down a river through a western gulch and ghost town. Different Mark Davis style show scenes would be featured, and I feel like this would quickly become a Disney classic, and also it's not based on an IP. Eventually, some of the ideas for the Western River Expedition were recycled into Big Thunder Mountain, but I feel like Disney has a lack of boat rides. All the most popular rides at the parks are boat rides. You got Pirates, Frozen, Small World, everyone loves these attractions. Why not give us another? And hey, there is sort of a thematic issue with the Princess and the Frog in Frontierland, although I'm sure Disney will do it amazingly. If you want to retheme Splash Mountain to have it fit perfectly within Frontierland without having to do too much around it, there's an idea for you. And those buffalo from Living with the Land will finally be able to return home. Okay, you know, no, we're gonna stay here. While we're on the topic of boat rides, let's talk about the Rhine River Cruise. Another slow-moving dark ride that took place on a boat on a river, except this time you were sailing through Europe instead of the west or the ocean. This was meant to be part of Epcot's Germany pavilion for Phase 2 of Epcot, although Phase 2 of Epcot kind of happened, we never got the Rhine River Cruise. If the entrance to Beer Garden always looked a little too grand for you, that's because it was meant to be the entrance to this attraction. They had built the facade. And my buddy Mark over at Yesterworld even deduced that they had some sort of display or model out in front of the Germany pavilion when Epcot opened.
Just what was in its place between the wooden gates in 1982 and the mural in '87? When going over video footage during that period, you can spot a large group of people staring directly at the planned entrance. Brightening up the image shows, to me, what looks like a display of some kind, definitely not a mural painted on a wall.
And also right now you're seeing concept art for it. It was very far along in development, it just never got quite there. To bring this ride back, you'd have to take out Beer Garden. I'm not sure anybody is going to miss that. That food is not the best. The entertainment though. They're pretty great. Not a lot of on-ride concept art exists for this though. I feel like it would just be a nice, silent, nighttime boat ride through the German countryside, seeing different sights and sounds of Germany. They were going to build a clone of the Matterhorn bobsleds here also, but you know, we have that at Disneyland, so it's not really canceled. I think a roller coaster in the World Showcase would be better suited for Japan. Hint, hint. And every country in the World Showcase should have an attraction. Not all of them have to be tied into IP necessarily, so here's one for Germany. You're welcome, Disney. I'm just waiting by the phone for the call. Should be soon here. Alright, do you guys remember the Muppets? You remember when the Muppets were at the Disney parks and now they're just kind of, you know, they pop up every now and then go away? During the height of their popularity, they were going to have a land at Disney's MGM, now Hollywood Studios. There would be a restaurant ran by Gonzo and a couple of rats, which we kind of eventually got. A Muppets 3D show, Muppet Vision 3D, which we did get and is still there today on life support. Don't take it away though, don't touch it, Disney. But Muppet Vision wasn't meant to be the anchor Muppet attraction in this land. It was meant to be the Great Movie Ride. Not that one though, the Muppets Great Movie Ride. Known for their satire and parody, the Muppets Great Movie Ride would be a parody of the Great Movie Ride in the front of the park. Except instead of taking us through obscure movies from the 30s and 40s, complete with audio animatronics and cast members becoming a part of the attraction, it would be the Muppets taking us through a history of these movies. But because it was Kermit and Fozzie and Miss Piggy and Rizzo and Gonzo and all the Muppets instead of James Cagney, things would go horribly wrong. No offense to the James Cagney lovers up there. I mean, if you enjoy Footlight Parade, you know, you enjoy Footlight Parade. There's nothing I can do about that. Looking at the concept for the Muppets Great Movie Ride, we can see groups of people dispersed evenly throughout the show scene, so we can assume that this was going to be potentially an Omnimover. I'm not sure they landed on a final ride vehicle idea. I'm not sure if it would have been the same as the Great Movie Ride or different. I pray an Omnimover would be cool though. I'm always down for a good Omnimover. And I feel like the Muppets having an e-ticket dark ride attraction at Disney's MGM Studios would have gone a lot farther for the popularity and longevity of these characters than Muppet Vision ended up. So here, Disney, we all know Star Tours, come on, Millennium Falcon, so much better, doesn't make me as sick, it's interactive, it's a superior version of Star Tours in every way. And Star Tours is right across the street from Muppet Vision, so take out Star Tours and put in the Muppets Great Movie Ride. Again, still waiting for the call. Remember when I said I had one more roller coaster left over? This one is the biggest crying shame in all of Disney Parks history. This was almost something we were about to experience. The facade, like the Rhine River Cruise, was built and complete, and Disney was just waiting for the go-ahead from their sponsors. Remember when Disney had sponsors back in the day because they couldn't build their own rides? Fuji Coaster, as the Disney fan community has taken to calling it, was going to be a Matterhorn-style roller coaster inside Mount Fuji in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot. They're saying, oh, they already built the facade for this? I don't see any facade. Where's Mount Fuji gonna be? Well, the entrance to that imperial Japanese castle in the very, very back of the pavilion was going to be the entrance. I mean, it makes sense. Build a big weenie roller coaster in the very back of the World Showcase in the very back of the pavilion. It's gonna draw people back there. I said back a lot. This ride is present in a bunch of different concepts and miniatures. It was so close to happening, but it's called Fuji Coaster, or is gonna be called like Mount Fuji sleds, bobsleds or something. The company that sponsored a lot of Disney attractions back then, the film company Nikon, did not want a competitor's name associated with the ride they sponsored. You see, I'm just gonna try and go back in time here.
Back in the day, me and you, baby, we used to have fun. Until you delivered that baby. Look, that's not my son.
Their closest competitor at the time was a film company called Fujifilm. If you can see, you can tie the comparison together there. And they didn't want the name of the attraction to be tied with their closest competitor. There, it all makes sense now. Even though the entire mountain in Japan that actually exists is just called Fuji, they didn't want to be associated with it, so they canceled Fuji Coaster. That's why this one is number one. It just infuriates me to no end because we could have had an amazing e-ticket, a people eater, crowd drawer, rope drop attraction at the back of Epcot in the World Showcase from the very beginning, and they just didn't like the name. The name wasn't good, so we canceled it. The facade is there already, Disney. Instead of just having it be a secondary entrance and exit to the Mitsukoshi department store, why not bring it back? Sure, Epcot is getting its first roller coaster in the form of Guardians of the Galaxy next year. Oh, I mean this year. Weird. People like thrill rides, that's why Test Track is so popular. Fuji Coaster in the back. You don't have Nikon sponsoring almost anything anymore in the Disney parks. They ended their sponsorship in 2021. Bring it back, Disney. We all know you want to. It's alluring. Come on, just Do Fuji Coaster. Do it! Hey, I'm in a different shirt now. There are 7 attractions that I think they need to bring back to Disneyland and Walt Disney World. It might not happen anytime soon, but I think the possibilities are endless, especially for Epcot. Especially for Epcot. Did I miss any of them? Let me know, because I'm pretty sure I missed a lot that could be brought back and probably utilize more and probably utilize space better than what I put in there. So, I mean, you guys are usually better at this than I am. Maybe the Unicorn Maze from Beastly Kingdom? I know a lot of people were, I don't know, maybe looking forward to that. Let me know down in the comments, because I'm sure Disney reads them and they gather fan feedback from my channel specifically. So why not let them know? You know what? No, before I go, honorable mention, I'm a People Mover guy. There was originally going to be a People Mover style ride at Galaxy's Edge, modeled after riding on the back of a Wampa. Not a Wampa, a Dewback. I'm always a fan of lazy moving attractions, so I mean, Disney, if you need a phase 3 for Galaxy's Edge, I wouldn't say no to the Dewback People Mover. Bantha, that's what I was thinking of. Do Banthas instead, Disney. Hello everybody, and welcome to the end of the first video of the new year. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a top 7, not a top 10, because, you know, there's a lot of attractions that they ended up canceling, but I wanted to keep this one shorter and sweeter. As you can see, we're already running on 15 minutes. If I did a top 10, it'd be even longer. Unless you like that. A massive thank you to all of my supporters over at patreon.com. If you want early access to videos, episode audio, like this one, actually, head over there, and even just $1 a month will get you access to most of the perks. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please be sure to like it and share it with your friends. Let them know what canceled attractions need to be brought back. And if you're new around here and want more content like this, just hit the subscribe button and I'll keep the videos coming. I'm going to be doing that anyway, but these kinds of videos coming. Remember to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Offhand Disney on all of those platforms, and take a look at the Foolish Mortals podcast I host with my friend Disney Dan. We talk about the Haunted Mansion, we talk about Spider-Man, we talk about the Muppets. Actually, we talk about the Muppets a lot in that podcast. Take a look. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is linked in the description down below. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, everyone, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.